Now this is more like it. Hey guys, welcome back to Bobcat We're Live. As promised, I would do this live show, this recap show for you guys. I'm just going to be here for a few minutes, of course, as I always am. And like I just said at the very beginning, now that is more like it. We've been talking about having the right mentality, having the right attitude, um, having the right approach to a football game. And when you try to describe just what a complete game is for a football team, this game between the Ohio Bobcats and the Buffalo Bulls, you'd have to put it up there as one of the prime examples of a good approach to a football game. I am very pleased. I'm very happy, very content with what just happened here today, which happened in Athens, Ohio, on Frank Solich Field. On the same day where Frank Solich himself, former Bobcat head coach Frank Solich, he showed up to a visit, which was nice. And this was also senior night. So all the seniors at Ohio University, this was their senior night, their last hurrah as far as playing for the Bobcats. And for the seniors, what a way to go out on senior night. And really, this was a complete game. I'm absolutely pleased with what happened here in this game against Buffalo. Against a team that I really thought that we were going to have more of a challenge against. Because leading up to this game, the Buffalo Bulls, they've been trying to make some headway here as far as development goes for a football team. And I have seen some things that I do like out of Buffalo when it comes to just play calling, how they approach the game and stuff like that. So I was, at least a little bit concerned about what was going to happen here in this game. But as you guys will know, when you watch this game, you'll see how the Bobcats just really commanded authority in this game. And that was just very exciting to watch by all means. So yeah, as you will see, the final score is 47-16. Ohio Bobcats, they just roll over the Buffalo Bulls. Very nice to see. So yeah, let's just get started here before I ramble on anymore. Let's just start off here with the scoring. First off, first quarter, 11:48 to go. This was just like in the very beginning of the game. Now, mind you, Parker Navarro threw an interception early to Buffalo defender Marquise Cooper. So I was like, okay, that's just nerves, probably just nerves at that point. It's early on in the game. No big deal. So it was just like, how were you going to respond to something like that going forward in the game? And as it turned out, Buffalo, they tried to do something. They tried to march down the field after that interception. But the thing is, Buffalo kicker Upton Belenfant, he missed a 47-yard field goal at the 7-minute mark of the first quarter, 7:21 to go in the first quarter. That gave us some hope right off the bat right there. Because when you have a kicker missing a field goal like that, momentum tends to shift when something like that happens. So sure enough, but a little bit later on in the first quarter with 1:40 remaining, 1 minute 40 seconds remaining, Bobcats kicker Gianni Spetic, he kicked a 23-yard field goal to make it 3-0 Ohio to start off. Chip shot field goal, easy to make. And yeah, so we get to the second quarter. We get to the early second quarter with 12 minutes 47 seconds to go. In the second quarter, Birch hit a 27-yard touchdown run for the Buffalo Bulls, and we got behind a little bit early there, 7-3. I was like, okay, Buffalo's trying to make a game of this. They're trying to make headway here. But again, as you'll notice with what I'm saying here, I am just really pleased with how the Bobcats responded. Every time the Bulls tried to punch, so to speak, the Bobcats just countered that with such a great counterpunch. That was something else in this game. 9:28. This is an important thing. 9:28 to go in the second quarter. And this is what I've been trying to say throughout the entire year when it comes to the Ohio Bobcats on offense. Situational football. It started way back when in the first game of the season against Syracuse. Situational football, play calling, just really fourth and short situations that sometimes I've questioned when it comes to play calling from the Bobcats. But here is a great example, here we go, great example of play calling for the Ohio Bobcats on offense. 9 minutes, 28 seconds to go in the second quarter. It was fourth down and 1 yard to go. And we were on our own 42-yard line. And we could have easily just said, you know what, we're just going to punt the ball. Earlier on the season, that was the case. We would just kick the ball back to the opponent, punt the ball back. And sometimes that would kind of sort of get on my nerves because it's like, you got to get a feel for the game. You got to get a feel for the situation around you. And just like we noticed in the last week when we were at Miami of Ohio, the Red Hawks had a clear understanding of what was at stake in that game. Here against the Buffalo Bulls on our home field, the Bobcats, we had a tremendous, great understanding of the situation around us. We knew that the Buffalo Bulls were trying to drive early in this game. They were up early 7-3 at one point. The Bulls were. So knowing that, I think that really played a factor in the play calling here. 9 minutes, 28 seconds to go, fourth down, 1 yard to go. And Ricky Hunt Jr., shout out to him. His name was called in this game often, and he delivered much like I thought he would. And he had that really key 1 yard run to extend the chains and to give us a first down. That was really huge because right after that, and I mean right after that, from my notes here, Ricky Hunt Jr. busted out a 46-yard touchdown run. He took it to the house. 8 minutes, 20 seconds to go. 8 minutes, 30 seconds to go. That makes it 10-7 Ohio. And just like that, we're off to the races. We're off and running. We're talking about momentum. It's the little things like that when you're in a fourth and short situation. If you convert on fourth and short and you give yourself a new set of downs, and then right after that, you get that 46-yard touchdown run, momentum shifts back to you. That's part of why you have to go for it sometimes. Even if you're backed into your own 42-yard line, you got to do it. Situational football, guys. And so, yeah, that was great. And a little bit later on, 6 minutes, 24 seconds to go in the second quarter, this is where momentum just really, we grabbed it. We really grabbed it. We had a stranglehold on momentum in the second quarter. 6 minutes, 24 seconds to go. Coleman Owen, I'm going to mention his name quite a bit here. Coleman Owen, wide receiver. He had a great 65-yard touchdown reception to make it 17-7 Bobcats. And so, yeah, that was good. More momentum going on there. And, okay, a little bit later, Buffalo came back with a field goal. 40-yard field goal by Belenfant, kicked with 3 minutes, 27 seconds to go. Okay. So they cut the lead a little bit to 17-10. No big deal. With the way things are going on offense for us, no big deal. And then there again, Coleman Owen. He had a 13-yard touchdown reception with 1 minute 6 seconds to go in the second quarter, right before halftime. That made it 24-10. That made it 24-10 going into halftime. And now here comes some of the more interesting things happening in the game, starting in the third quarter. This is where the Ohio Bobcats on defense started showing up, and we started shutting down Buffalo. I was really impressed by this, the showing on defense by the Bobcats. The defensive players for the Bobcats, they truly showed up in this game, and I was thoroughly impressed by it. 9 minutes 30 seconds to go in the third. 9 minutes 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. CJ Ogbonna for the Buffalo Bulls. He did not have that bad of a game, although stats will show throw interceptions and the fumble. But it says here he got sacked and fumbled the football, and then Braylon Henderson, a defensive tackle for the Bobcats, he recovered it. Again, momentum shifting. Momentum shifts back to us, the Bobcats. That's what happens when you make a big play on defense. So we give the ball back right to our offense. And guess what we do? Not long after that, 6 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the third quarter, Nolan McCormick, one of our running backs, Nolan McCormick, had a 2-yard touchdown run, punched it in to make it 31-10 Bobcats. At that point, I knew that we had the momentum. At that point, I knew that we were feeling good about ourselves and that we weren't going to let up here. We were not going to have any disappointments here. Good to see. And yeah, a little bit later on in the third quarter, Buffalo came back and scored a touchdown to make it 31-16 at that time. But then I really question this. Talk about play calling. I really question this on Buffalo's part. I don't know why they were doing this because it just didn't make any sense. Okay, you scored the touchdown, 31-16, right? And they decided to go for 2. 2-point conversion attempt. For the life of me, I have no idea why they did this. Okay, maybe they felt confident they can score another 2 points. But whatever the case may be, they tried to go for it. They failed. And they threw an interception as a result of that. And guess what? Take it to the house. The Bobcats actually pulled off a pick 2, not a pick 6, but a pick 2. And defensive end Caden Schmitz, he was the guy who took it to the house. Pick 2, that made it 33-16 Bobcats. We're up by 17 now. Still in the driver's seat, still have momentum. It's all going good. It's all going good. And in front of our home crowd in Athens, Ohio. What more could you ask for? So, yeah, that's one of those things. And then gets the fourth quarter. Very beginning of the fourth quarter, Buffalo was trying to drive again. They were trying to get anything going on offense because they knew they were running out of time. They had to score quickly. That was their situation, but it just wasn't working out for them. And case in point, it was a 4th down 3 situation for Buffalo at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They had to convert. They did not. The Bobcats on defense got another big stop. Momentum shift again back to us, the Bobcats. I mean, it was already on our side, but momentum even more so. We had it. This was just our kind of game. This was totally a Bobcat kind of game. You can tell why I'm happy. So, yeah. So we get to Coleman Owen again. Mention his name one more time here. Coleman Owen, he actually had a good touchdown on the ground. And by way of a trick play, like a flea flicker / jet sweep kind of motion, where Coleman Owen ended up with the football. It was like an end around kind of thing. He came back, circled back, and just took it to the house again. 22-yard touchdown run by Coleman Owen to make it 40-16 Bobcats. There's no doubt at this point what's going to happen here, and that's a good thing. And so 12 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. I mean, the game's well in hand at this point. And CJ Ogbonna throws another interception, this time to Shea Taylor. And he took it to the house for a pick 6. And for a 30-yard touchdown, interception return for a touchdown. 47-16 Bobcats. And that was it. I just have to do it. Standing ovation right here for the Bobcats. This is the kind of game that we need. This is the kind of game that I've personally been looking at. This is the kind of game that I need to start seeing from the Bobcats going forward here. This is the right kind of mentality. This is the right kind of attitude. This is the right kind of approach. Bobcats had it. They definitely had it here in this game. And what a good time to do it, because this is really important for the MAC standings, which I'll get to shortly. So yeah, overall stats. Let's just get to that for the Bobcats. Parker Navarro, he had a good game overall. Uh, let's just disregard the early interception because that did not factor into anything ultimately. Uh, Parker Navarro, he completed 14 of 19 passes for 231 yards and 2 touchdown passes. And yeah, on the ground, Parker did well. He did his thing as a mobile quarterback. 13 rushing attempts for 81 yards. He was doing good. He had a good set of wheels on him today, and he was seeing the field good enough. I mean, again, one of the better games that I've seen out of Parker Navarro today, and that's saying something. And yeah, Coleman Owen again. I mean, he was all over the place. Coleman Owen. I keep saying this. Shout out to Coleman Owen. This guy, this dude, if I should say that, this dude is something else. Coleman Owen. He's going to be one of the reasons why the Bobcats keep having success here going forward this season and beyond. Just keep a note of it. Coleman Owen had 6 receptions for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns, just as a wide receiver. And yeah, I just told you about the jet sweep end around touchdown run he had. So Coleman Owen had it. He had it going today. Shout out to him. So yeah. And also Rodney Harris, the second wide receiver, Rodney Harris, he had 1 reception for 52 yards. That was a big play by him in this game. And also I want to make a good point of it because I mentioned this earlier just a couple of days ago in the regular Bobcat Corner episode 28 that we have got to spread it out between the running backs that we do have on our team, with Anthony Tice III being out now with an injury. And again, I'm assuming he's going to be out for another 2 more games after this. We don't know about it. We'll see how that goes. But the running backs we do have on our team right now, they showed up. They did good. They did their job. Good job. I got to do the camera thing right here. I get the camera thing. Yeah, just Ricky Hunt Jr., I just got to say it, 9 rushing attempts for 89 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, he was on point. Ricky Hunt Jr., he showed me more of what he was late last year. That was the Ricky Hunt Jr. I needed to see, and I saw it. That was great. I'm very happy for Ricky Hunt Jr. I knew he had this in him to have a game like this, to just do what he does best. Because, when you how should I say this? When you're feeling it, when you're really in the zone, so to speak, and you're trying to break out good runs, then you're going to do good things. And Ricky Hunt Jr., he was like, having his challenges trying to make something happen when he does get the ball, because he's sharing time with Anthony Tice. Well, now Tice is out, and that means Ricky Hunt Jr. is going to have more opportunities like this to make his own big runs. And he had it. He busted out big runs. He busted out a couple 20, 30-yard runs. And as I mentioned earlier, Ricky Hunt Jr., he busted out that 46-yard touchdown run much earlier in the game. Just amazing stuff, really. That is more like what the Bobcats need to do. They need to spread it out between more than one running back. 2, 3 running backs that are all doing good enough. That is more like a successful approach on offense, in my opinion, at least. And Nolan McCormick, he did well. He got the yards that he needed to produce for the Bobcats. 11 rushing attempts, 38 yards, 1 touchdown for Nolan McCormick. Good job from him. And overall, really, this was just a complete game. I'm telling you guys the truth. This is just a complete game from the Bobcats. I'm really pleased. I'm really happy. I'm really pleased. This was like one of the most complete efforts that I've seen from a Bobcats football team in a while. And that is definitely saying something. And let me just go through the stats real fast. If I can just, yeah. Team comparison, when you check this in the box score here, I'll provide a link to the box score below this, so you can check it out for yourselves. But yeah, I'm going through this, and Bobcats were just dominating. Yeah, at so many points during this game, the Bobcats were dominating. They converted on third down alone. The Bobcats converted 7 out of 12 third downs to keep drives going, and that was so critical to do. When you have to extend drives and you get your third down conversions and even get a fourth down conversion, it's huge. That's all there is to it. It's huge. And the Bobcats truly understood that today, and that's a good sign. And now, I'm just reviewing stats real fast, guys. Don't mind me. Uh, Bobcats just had a good day. Total yards, Bobcats 489 to the Buffalo Bulls 383. And net yards rushing 258 from the Bobcats. That says a lot compared to 126 from the Buffalo Bulls. I mean, really, average game per play, 8.2 yards average game per play from the Bobcats compared to 5.3 from the Buffalo Bulls. Certain stats like that, for example, that can go a long way in determining who wins the football game. So, yeah, I'm just pleased. I'm really pleased by this. And don't have much more to say other than, as I mentioned earlier, and this is really important, this was such an important game for the Bobcats to get. The MAC standings, the conference standings in the MAC, it was such a traffic jam going into this game between the Bobcats and the Bulls, both coming into this game at 2-1 in conference play. And with this win, the Bobcats, they clear themselves of the Buffalo Bulls at least. They go up to 3-1 in MAC conference play. And, you know, it's really important. We're now 5-3 overall, 3-1 in conference play, like I said. We got a few games ahead of us that are still going to be challenging. Next week, though, it should not be all that challenging because it's Kent State. Let me check this real fast. I know I've been all over the place today. But yeah, the Bobcats, their next opponent is going to be the 0-8. Yes, 0 wins, 8 losses. Kent State Golden Flashes. Of course, we got to travel up to Kent, Ohio to play them. But even as the road team here next week, the Bobcats should be heavily favored against the Golden Flashes. And that's not a surprise to me because I thought Kent State was not going to do anything of note anyway this year. So that doesn't surprise me. And we should take care of business up there in Kent, travel up to Kent, get our win there, and just really prepare for the next game after that, because these next two games after Kent State, November 13th, November 20th, circle those games, guys, if you're paying attention to the Bobcats. November 13th, we come back home to Athens, Ohio to face Eastern Michigan Eagles. That's on Wednesday. And then Wednesday, November 20th, this is MACtion we're talking about here. And I'm going to talk about MACtion here in a future episode. But November 20th, Wednesday, we go up to Toledo to face the Toledo Rockets. And I think that's going to be the most important game of this regular season for the Ohio Bobcats, by far. The most important game for the Bobcats this regular season. It's that game right there, November 20th at Toledo. Because depending on how Toledo is going to be, how well they're going to be playing at that point, doesn't seem to matter, because I picked Toledo to be one of the representatives in the MAC championship game this year. And if the Bobcats are able to knock them off on November 20th, then the Bobcats have a chance to get to the MAC conference championship game this year. That's going to be super important. So yeah, Eastern Michigan on the 13th of November, then Toledo the following week, November 20th. And then we finish the season against Ball State at home, November 29th on a Friday. So that's it. This game against Buffalo was such a great showing, great performance. Nothing bad to say at all concerning the performance of the Ohio Bobcats. All good, all smiles, all thumbs up. So yeah, Speaking of thumbs up, if you guys like this content, please give this video a thumbs up as well as my other videos. And I'll be producing more content soon, not just about college football, but about other things as well. Let me know what you guys think of my content. If you guys watch this game between Ohio and Buffalo, let me know. Put a comment down. And if you're new here, just give this video a like, subscribe, click the bell, notification bell setting, and just stay up to date with what I'm doing. So, yeah, this is Stephen Bitt reporting, and go Bobcats. Take care.